Welcome to the Street Talk Show. My name is Abundance Effiong. This episode is titled Farewell to Somtochukwu. This moment, I speak with a very heavy heart. We've all read in the media of the gruesome incident that took place a few days ago, where armed robbers raided a compound in Katampe in Abuja. One of the tenants in that compound, her name was Somtochukwu Maduagu. She was one of the presenters in a Rise TV. She was a brilliant young lady, or she was a delight to her fans, to listeners. Everyone that watched her was delighted by her performance. She was a gifted and talented broadcaster, a lawyer who had to move to where her talent truly lies. I want to really say that when Somtochukwu was alive, I was her fan. But I want to speak on something here. Not just am I saying farewell to her, not just am I paying tribute to her legacy, but I want to use her situation to talk about insecurity in Abuja. There is insecurity in Abuja. People are being killed daily. Acts of criminality are being committed every day. I remember when one chance was rife everywhere. People were being killed by one chance. One chance is a private taxi where you enter and you are taken away to an unknown destination. You are robbed. Sometimes if you do not have what they can take, they can kill you. Or if you pose any resistance, they can kill you. This has even happened to me, but I was lucky. I remember when I was coming back from a film shoot, say about 5:30, and I was going to live cam. I came to Bega. When I came in, because I was very tired, I shot throughout the whole night, so I was tired. So when I came to Bega, I saw a taxi parked, and the driver was inside. I wasn't even smart enough to begin to wonder why a driver was inside instead of calling for passengers outside. So I got in and I saw three other guys. One was seated in the front, he wore a hood, and two were at the back. They held buses like normal, regular travelers. Okay, bags. Yes, bags. Like normal, regular travelers. But I don't know, as soon as I passed Arab, I felt very uncomfortable. And so suddenly at Mountain of Fire, I told the driver I'd forgotten something. I had to stop, I had to drop. And the driver incidentally stopped me. When he stopped me, I came out. And as I was walking away, he asked me to give him his transport. That was just about 100 naira from where I was, where I came from. That's from Bega to that place. Then, this is like 2 years ago. And so I crossed over, I paid him and then crossed over and they left. But I was lucky and I came back and I took another taxi and I went home. The truth is this: why was I uncomfortable? When I played back, I realized that a regular taxi driver would be standing outside calling for passengers. He won't sit in the car quiet. Everyone was quiet. And remember that in Abuja, if a driver does not put 4 passengers at the back and 2 in the front, they will never leave. Here we were, as soon as I entered, just three of us at the back, one person in the front, and the driver left. I even said, driver, I'm going to life camp. The driver didn't answer me. It was one of the passengers that said, oh yes, yes, we are going to life camp. You know, these were the things that raised alarm in my mind that look, these are criminals. The guy in the front had used his hood and these other guys. So I was lucky. But let me tell you, many people are not lucky. Some have lost their lives. So we have read in the papers where robbers went to this place, went to Somtochukwu's compound. They killed one vigilante. They tied four other ones. Okay, so I would say they said there were about five of them there. There were five security people there. So they killed one, tied four up, and out of fear, Somtochukwu had to jump. They robbed about 10 flats. Somtochukwu lived in a one-bedroom flat where she was paying 2.5 million in Katampe. So that young lady jumped from a two-story building down on a concrete floor. I understand, there are some conflicting stories about this. First, there's this version of the story that says that the police came later and they said they didn't have fuel to take her to the hospital. And so when the robbers left, one of the residents who summoned courage to come out because some were in hiding was rushing her to the hospital when the police came and stopped him, and he said he was taking one of the victims to the hospital. I think the police or thereabout accompanied him. But there's another version that says that when Somtochukwu got to the hospital, by this time she was in a coma, the hospital people demanded for police report. Now, where I'm getting a bit confused is if the police had gone with these residents to the hospital, how come the hospital people demanded for police reports? Because the presence of a police officer was enough to testify to the fact that there was a robbery attack somewhere. Now, that young lady died. Should I say died of negligence in the hospital? I'll come back to the hospital. I want to tell the police again, I know you're doing well. I went to the force headquarters and I realized that there is anti-one chance squad that has been set up by the IG. They're doing well. I also know that there are anti-robbery squads everywhere in the FCT. But the point is we have to do more in terms of security. We have to encourage community policing. We need to really turn out to secure our neighborhoods. This community policing is a very important aspect of security in any system. You out there have to be able to give notice to the police. I understand too that when you give notice to the police, you may end up becoming a victim. And that's why a lot of people withdraw from giving information to the police. I stand to be corrected. These are things that we pick up from the media, and these are also things that people have told us personally. And so we need to do more. These vigilante people need to be licensed to own guns. But I'm also talking about vigilantes that have proven to be men of integrity. We need to truly beef up the security. The police, I know, cannot do all of these on their own because as it stands today in Nigeria, I have been told, or statistics claim that there are about 400,000 police officers in a nation that is reputed to be about 250 people. It's going to be so difficult. So we need to beef up this private sector security. We have to collaborate with the police. And the police need to be able to assist us to collaborate with them. We need to do a lot of intelligence gathering. The police needs to do that. The police also have to ensure that when people give information, the informants are protected. They're not to be exposed. I must also say that there are police officers who are collaborating with these criminal elements. They're giving them arms, they're giving them information. This must stop. The police itself must investigate itself to fish out these bad elements. Abuja used to be a very, very peaceful place. We cannot allow Abuja to degenerate to this level of insecurity. Look at this brilliant mind that has been killed. How many other people have been killed? So many. A lot that we don't even know. We know about this Somtochukwu because she's a TV personality. So what about all of those other people? The police need to do a lot. When I say need to do a lot, not necessarily in terms of apportioning manpower everywhere. They may not have that. Otherwise, I need to call for mass employment. We need to have a police force that is up to 2 million. We cannot say that we won't have money to pay them. We can't even say that Nigeria doesn't have that kind of money to pay them when a lot of politicians are stealing billions. When a lot of people in the civil service are stealing billions. When a lot of people in the private sector are stealing billions. We have the money to pay police well. Now I am saying in terms of raising the civil society that want to do something also, that want to engage in security protection. We need to give the vigilante all they require to be able to help save us, protect us from these criminal elements. We need to lift up the intelligence gathering to another level. We need to do more in that area. In fact, if you have a very sound intelligence gathering network, the police would have been able to solve a lot of crimes. I learned recently that the police just busted an armed robbery gang just in FCT. That's a few days ago after this incident. Great. Kudos to you for doing that. But you can do more. And secondly, I want to speak on this hospital issue where when an emergency occurs, you're asking for a police report. For God's sake, treat the victim first and later you require for a report. You treat the victim first and then later you can report to the police. If he was a criminal, the police will be involved at that level. But saving life is very important. If it is correct that something was rushed to the hospital and the hospital demanded for police reports, and then she died in that process, then the hospital would have contributed to her death, apart from the armed robbers. So this must stop in our hospitals. We must realize that every hospital is set up to save life first. We can't be demanding for reports when there is an emergency. I know that so many Nigerians have died in these wise. We need to step up the medical ethics of saving life. It's very important. It can't be done in the other climes. Can't be done that way. Life must be saved first. If you need to get the police involved, you get the police involved after. But at least save life. Is it not when you have saved that life that the police can arrest that individual if he's a criminal element? Please, let's do more. In terms of security, let's improve our hospital service. It is so sad that this young lady had to die. So sad. And I feel very, 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 very traumatized because she has died. Even though I didn't know her, but she was a Nigerian. She contributed to us, to improving our system. She contributed to improving our media. She added value to this country. And so we must condemn criminality in all its facets. We must condemn security operatives who encourage them, who collaborate with them. We must also condemn this hospital negligence. At some point, we must hold people accountable. We need the police at this point in time to fish out those armed robbers and punish them. We need to see that justice has been delivered on behalf of Somtochukwu Maduagu. We need to see that that is done right now, at least to appease her poor soul. Somtochukwu, farewell, wherever you are. I pray that your soul finds eternal rest. I'm sorry you had to leave so early. You were not even married. But your legacy will live on. I know that Arise TV will make that happen. I know that Nigerians will make that happen. Farewell, Somtochukwu. Thank you for watching the Street Talk Show. My name is Abundance Effiong. I'd like you to share this video. Let the authorities, let the police authorities and the hospital authorities hear my message. It's very important. Make this video go viral. Thank you so much again for being our subscribers. Thank you so much for helping us promote this talk show. We want to make this talk show #1 talk show in the YouTube. This is our aim. And we want to see that we use this talk show to bless a lot of people and to also change the system, to also add value to this country. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.